Something definitely isn't right with this situation. So guys, this is going to be a fairly short video, but this is about the whole bird flu and eggs epidemic that's going on, right? The lack of eggs and the bird flu that's affecting only the birds that are laying eggs. Now, I find it interesting, guys, that the egg industry is trying to blame the bird nonsense on the lack of eggs and the reason why the prices are going up for eggs. But if that's the case, how come chicken itself, the prices are skyrocketing on chickens? How come we're not hearing about the chickens that they use to feed us, which are not the same as the chickens that lay eggs, right? Those are like two different birds. They have the egg-laying birds, and they have the consumption birds, the birds that we eat. And there's no shortage on that. There's no articles on those birds getting culled. Yet somehow just egg-laying birds. Not falcons, not eagles, not finches, not grouses, just the birds we eat. There are some birds in certain parks that are getting affected with bird flu. There was a couple of ducks in Central Park. We do eat ducks and people do hunt ducks. But that's it. Just the egg-laying birds. Nothing else is going. Again, I sense a lot of bullshit with this. And initially, when it went down, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But then you start listening, you start paying attention. I had made this comment a couple weeks ago to a friend. I said, interesting that it's not affecting our actual food source, the birds we eat, but just the eggs and just the birds that lay eggs. I'm like, that's a little weird. I said, what about the owls? What about flamingos? What about the million other birds out there? We don't see pigeons in New York City. There could be a bird flu epidemic with them. We could wind up losing a few hundred pigeons, this shit city, because pigeons are gross. Anyway, not the point. The point is, guys, is that we don't see bird flu with them. And pigeons are everywhere, and they eat everything. And they're still around. Why is that? Pigeons do fly by farms. They're not contracting it. There are other birds that actually fly by chicken farms or try to eat chickens, their feed or whatever. They're not catching it. But the chickens that lay eggs, all of a sudden they have to be called. Now, if I'm missing something, please leave a comment in the comment section. But again, guys, this goes along with the propaganda of the nonsense that we've been seeing over the last couple of years. Now, I find this interesting. Bear with me on this one. Of course, last year or 2 years ago, they did a study on eggs and how excellent eggs are for our health. The amount of nutrients in eggs are astounding, right? And then there are videos on how to eat your eggs, because if you eat a little more raw, you get more of the nutrients. If you scramble them too much or you burn them, you burn a lot of nutrients out, but not all the way. Now, with all of the studies that they came out about eggs being very good for our health, there was another study that suggested that eggs help fight off Mr. 19, COVID. Does a great job at fighting it off and helping you recover from it. Also, there's been a study, but it hasn't been peer-reviewed, where eggs can also help with the arm ticket, or fighting against the arm ticket, you getting sick from it. Now, of course, those two studies are out and about, and coincidentally, we had the bird flu hit just the birds that lay eggs. That is not a coincidence. I don't know what is. I just find that very odd that all of a sudden they found out all of these benefits that eggs are for us as a whole, and then how it helps with Mr. 19, COVID, and now all of a sudden there's a problem with the birds that lay eggs because they're all getting COVID. And now there's this egg shortage here in the United States. Nowhere else but here in the United States. Now, I think England might have had a problem. Actually, they did have a problem with their chickens, but I don't think they have an egg problem like we do. And there's an abundance amount of eggs and birds that lay eggs. So even if they cull them, we still shouldn't have a shortage, according to an egg farmer, a chicken farmer who lays eggs. He said we shouldn't have this problem. So he finds that there's something weird about this whole thing. Now, of course, once listening to him, this is a guy who does this for a living, and then starting to think about all of the other birds that are not getting sick, something is up. And clearly, guys, if they're attacking the eggs, there has to be not proof, but there has to be more to it with eggs and how they can definitely protect us from Mr. 19. Because again, they said that it helps you recover and protects you from Mr. 19, COVID. So if it's protecting you from Mr. 19, then that would make sense why they're trying to stop you from eating it so that you can get sick and go to the hospital and be dependent upon their medications. Because that's the game plan. The game plan for Rockefeller, who started this whole pharmaceutical nonsense, was to have us get away from natural products and healing ourselves or making ourselves better or keeping ourselves healthy to being completely dependent on chemical drugs to get us to make them millions, if not billions of dollars, which we did during Mr. 19 with the arm ticket. Billions of dollars. Now they got to come up with something else because that revenue is starting to die off because a lot less people are taking it now and a lot less people are being forced to take it. But anyway, all that to say, guys, is that this egg situation or this bird flu nonsense with the chickens is absolutely that. Nonsense. Because it isn't making sense that it's just affecting the birds that lay eggs, but not the birds that we actually eat. Anyway, guys, if I'm wrong, write it in the comment section as to why I am wrong. Don't leave one word, just tell me why, and I'll take that into consideration. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.